Hey everyone, welcome back to Setting the Table with Dr. Shani, where we're talking about food, nutrition, and building sustainable relationships with what's on your plate. Today, we're going to think about calories as currency. Just like in real life, everyone has a different salary, everyone has different expenses. We're going to be talking about budgeting calories. We'll be discussing how it works, why it's important, and how you can start to manage your calories like a boss. So, how do you know how much calories you can spend each day? Well, so your calorie budget depends on a few factors, and this includes what your lifestyle is like. So, do you spend majority of your days around a desk in front of a computer, pretty much a sedentary lifestyle? Or is your lifestyle more active, where you go to the gym, or you do some type of physical activity 3 to 4 times for the week, maybe 30 to 45 minutes per day? Or are you somewhere in between, where maybe you take a walk every day, or maybe about 30 minutes, but you still have a sedentary lifestyle, right? So that's one factor, your lifestyle. The second thing, your goals. Now, this is different for everyone. Is your goal weight loss? Is it fat loss? Is it maintenance? Is it muscle gain? So, your goal has a lot to do with how you will budget your calories. And thirdly, the time that you think you're gonna be able to consistently apply this to your life. So, are you flexible? Are you thinking of making it a more lifestyle change? Or do you think that you only have maybe 6 months to work with in order for you to reach a particular goal? Or are you more thinking maybe 3 weeks? Just like how you wouldn't blow your paycheck in one day, we have to plan how we spend our calories each day. And this is where meal planning comes in to play. It's like assigning funds to your bills or your expenses. So you have a water bill, you have your light bill, you have your food bill, transportation, and you assign or you budget your salary to cover these expenses. You should think of calories and meal planning similarly to budgeting your salary, but with food. So, with calories, your expenses would be your macros, right? And those are your major food groups are proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and you have your fiber, vegetables, and of course you have carbohydrates. Now, as I would have shared in previous videos, I support a nutrition journey which is balanced. It means eating foods from all your food groups, and the journey being a lifestyle change. There are some diets that eliminate certain food groups like carbs, or they may eliminate dairy products, or you may eliminate animal products. And persons may choose to eliminate certain food groups because of dietary constraints. They may have health considerations, or you may have religious factors which play a part. But in general, I support having a nutritious, balanced diet, which means eating the appropriate portions for your goals of all your food groups every day. In order for you to understand how to appropriately spend your calories, you have to understand the roles and the functions of the macros or the major food groups that you'll be using. Food groups in terms of fuel and energy as an energy source for your body, right? Because that will help us to determine which ones and in what proportions we should eat them in order to meet our energy needs, as well as how to cut back on certain ones when we're trying to meet weight loss goals, or maximize on others if we're trying to hit increase in mass goals. So we're going to talk about proteins, carbs, and fats. So we'll start with proteins. Proteins are your building blocks. Examples of a few include chicken, beef, fish, seafood, eggs, just to name a few. You also have legumes and peas. This is not your body's preferred source of energy. It can be used under certain conditions as a source of energy. Proteins, however, are important for growth, which includes muscle growth, repair of tissue or injured tissue, like in working out, but it's not really a source of energy per se. However, when your bodies have low stores of carbs or fats, then the body will then use the protein to break down to produce energy. The proteins provide 4 calories per gram, about the same calories per gram as carbs. Carbohydrates is your body's main source of energy. Examples of carbohydrates include rice, quinoa, ground provisions, as Jamaicans would call it, food. But we typically have 2 different types of carbohydrates. You have simple carbs and you have complex carbs. Simple carbs are often referred to as sugars and consist of 1 or 2 sugar molecules which are found naturally in foods, often in fruits and milk, but can also be found in refined foods which are added to processed foods. They are absorbed rapidly into the bloodstream, providing a quick rise in blood sugar, which often results in a short-lived energy boost. When simple carbs are found in fruits and milk, it can be a healthy part of the diet, but it can also be found in candy, soda, and other bread-like products, cake, bun, and in those food items, it should be consumed in moderation, as it has the potential to have negative impacts on your health. You have the complex carbs, which are more like ground provisions, quinoa, and those are broken down much slower, which give your body a source of energy for over a longer period of time, so a more sustained period of time. And so these are the preferred carbs that you should be eating if you're trying to lose weight. The next food group that we're going to be discussing is fats. So fats play a crucial role in energy production. Particularly, it's a great source of energy for the long term. Fats are the most nutrient-dense energy sources that of the three when compared to proteins and carbs. This means that it's ideal for long-term sustained uses of energy. For example, if you're going on a long run or you're going to be doing exercise for a prolonged period of time, or in cases where we have consumed low carbohydrates or there is a low level of carbohydrates on board for our bodies to use as energy, the body will preferentially use fat. That is a key point in terms of persons who are on a journey for fat loss. So preferentially, you probably should prioritize eating fats, foods that are high in fats, so good fats, over foods that are high in carbs, because your body will break down the fats first as a source of energy, and it will burn stored fats. So, when you're working out in a fasting state, your body will preferentially burn fats over carbohydrates, and that is very helpful when you're trying to lose fat, right? So once you understand the role and function of each of the major food groups and have mastered consuming the appropriate portions of each for your goals, the next important thing that you need to tackle is the timing of your macros. Now, early in my nutrition journey, one of my coaches told me carbs are earned. And that stuck with me because I was like, but I'm supposed to be eating a balanced meal. So what do you mean by carbs are earned? But if you're on a serious nutrition journey or you've been on it for a while and you're feeling stuck, then trust me, you need to listen to this part. Carbs are earned. And what that means is it's best to work out in a fasted state. That means that your body is using the stored fat or the adipose tissue as its source of energy because you're in a fasted state. So you're burning fat, which is good. When you work out, whatever time of the day you work out, your meal after your workout should be your heaviest meal, and it should have complex carbs as a source of energy, and prioritize protein. I work out in the mornings, so 5 a.m. go to the gym, come back home, breakfast. You should never skip breakfast, right? Breakfast is a great opportunity to maximize on protein. I don't know how you can skip breakfast, right? And you eat carbs, complex carbs, and a high protein meal. The other meals for the day, they become smaller over time, right? And we'll discuss a little bit more in other videos how you should organize those meals. But carbs are earned. They're only eaten on days that you work out. All the other days, you should be using fats as your source of energy primarily, but if you have to eat carbs, you're eating complex carbs. So fats are also the primary source of energy or fuel when you're in a resting state, or if you're doing low to moderate intensity exercise. Fats in these cases are broken down slower than carbohydrates, and so they last longer than carbs. Fats provide a good source of energy. In the absence of sufficient carbs, your body would preferentially burn fats or fuel into ketones, and this would be an alternative energy source for your body. This is how prolonged fasting or ketogenic diets actually work. Your body preferentially burns the fats over the carbs, and so you lose weight faster. But it's also very difficult to maintain, and you have to ensure that you are eating a lot of foods that are high in good fats frequently versus carbohydrates, which in general is difficult to eat. And then in our future videos, now that we understand the role and function of our major food groups that we will be consuming in order to make our meals balanced, then we can tackle how we determine your maintenance calories, how to calculate your calories based on the deficit that you want to create, or if you need to be in a surplus for muscle gain, right? So I will show you how to calculate your macros for the day. Continue to watch my videos and you can cook with me. I really like when people comment under the videos and share with me. A lot of persons have been sharing with me outside of the YouTube platform, but I encourage you to comment on the videos also, so that we can share with others. Other persons may be able to relate to you, and we can form a positive type of community for persons who are on similar nutrition goals. We can learn from each other.